All right, there was no crossover Wednesday this week, so instead it's a bit of a crossover Friday, but not totally a crossover because like Dylan's not a locked on guy. But we're gonna get into it anyway. We're gonna
Fresh
preview
Thursday.
Florida versus LSU today on Locked On Gators.
You are Locked On Gators, your daily podcast on the Florida Gators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I didn't know that I could see at the bottom of the screen, so I was like, we're both just dancing to it. All right, whatever. I'm keeping that in the episode. Welcome to another episode of Locked On Gators, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day. Every day, we are available daily and free wherever you listen to podcasts. Happy Friday. I am Brandon Olsen. You can find me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. I'm also the founder of Whole9Sports.com, where you can find all of my written work. As you can see, I am joined now by Dylan Sanders, who just does everything pretty much. Just make sure to give him a follow on Twitter at Dilly Sanders. How you doing, Dylan?
Doing good. The most relevant, I was thinking of the word I was about to say, the most relevant thing to today is that I work at LSU Reveille, the LSU student paper, and I do breaking news. I kind of talk about it. And through that, I kind of talk about everything.
I mean, you're no whatever the name of the people were at Oklahoma with Spencer Rattler. You didn't get post-practice media shut down.
The pressure's on. But recently, Coach O, not as nice as Lincoln Riley to media, so I don't want to go fishing or anything. And that's a joke for I don't know if that.
I get it. Yeah. I got a problem. My buddy's gonna take you up there. Because the guy's from Miami. Whatever.
Coach O scares me, honestly.
Big storyline starting off. Coach O threatens to murder people. The big storyline to start off here for Saturday, from the Gators side at least, I think the biggest storyline is, can Dan Mullen beat LSU this time? I was on 10:37 the game yesterday with Raymond Parks III in Lafayette talking about this game, and it's like, we know that Dan Mullen is not the most mature coach out there. We know by his post-game press conferences of him saying, I didn't get out coached against Kentucky. I had more yards and things like that make no sense. And him being very, very blunt with the media during halftime interviews and just, he is what he is. He's not going to take responsibility for all of his actions. I get it. Whatever at that point, Dan Mullen. But he's now dropped 2 in a row to LSU, despite how much he shouldn't have dropped that one last year. Again, I will say this every time we bring it up. I will not say that I blame Marco Wilson and him throwing the shoe for the reason that,
blame Evan McPherson if anybody. You know what I mean? He missed the kick.
I'm blaming literally the entire team and Dan Mullen, because if we're going to be honest, LSU, shouldn't have been in the game to begin with. So, but you were, but I'm not going to blame a shoe on that, because that's one penalty. And we've seen Florida's capable of racking up about 4,000 penalties in a game at a time.
Yeah.
That was rough.
That was rough. It was so much fun. I want to thank Florida, because last year was really bad. Last year was so bad until we played Florida and we won on a thrown shoe. Man, that was so fun. I had to explain to like 20 people at a watch party what had just happened, because also a going away party for one of our friends, and a lot of people didn't really know what was going on. And it was just a blast. It was a blast. And it was really good. It was really fun. That was the hardest I screamed whenever Cade York, Liquid Gold Cade York. Everybody, if you're listening now, you might want to take advantage. Cade York, nicknamed Liquid Gold now, Velveeta. He has a Velveeta name in NIL deal right now, to where you can win free queso if he kicks kicks a field goal over 50 yards. So
ain't gonna happen Saturday. I'm letting you know that ain't gonna happen Saturday, because you guys aren't gonna score a single point. Sure, yesterday in my prediction episode, I said you guys were gonna score, but less than 20. But I'm saying today, because I get to talk that not scoring a single point. The next big storyline we have, Dylan, I'm going to let you take the lead on this one. Is it LSU or RIP?
Man, just reading injury news recently is just really, really bad. I want to do a little fun little exercise. Not Ross, Brandon. I do it every time. Every time I always got to call you Ross. This is a list of LSU players who were expected to play this year, or at least in this game at some point, who either are done for the year, not available for this game, or haven't played a snap yet. Miles Brennan, John Emory Jr., Keyshawn Boutte, Chris Hilton, Andre Anthony, Ali Gay, Glenn Logan, Jared Small, Derek Stingley, Eli Ricks, Major Burns, Todd Harris, Sage Ryan, and Peyton Todd.
14.
Yep.
14 there. It's going to be fun. You just mentioned Sage Ryan, who debut, right? Hasn't played yet. Debut guy. All right. Can't wait for it. Big storylines again. Dan Mullen. Can he beat LSU? That's been the thorn in his side. Of course, 2 years ago was LSU with the most absurd college team, followed by the most absurd drop-off, where they still beat Florida last year after the shoe game, the fog game, and just the, horrible execution game. And then LSU, I mentioned this yesterday, I mentioned it Wednesday, LSU is dealing with an absurd number of injuries where I've been saying I think their team is better than they've been given credit for, given the injuries that they've been dealing with. They've got a successful passing attack without Miles Brennan, who was expected to be the starter, got a car deal, then got injured immediately. And just they've done what they can, but
how Miles Brennan got injured?
What's up?
You know how Miles Brennan got injured? Because I think it perfectly sums up LSU's luck this year.
How?
He was getting ready for a fishing trip. He was loading a boat. And you know how a pier has like the wooden planks, but there's a little bit of space in between them? He was wearing flip-flops. Foot falls in between the wooden planks. He trips, breaks his foot.
I hate laughing at an injury, but like the fact that he gets hit by people, and that's what takes him out.
I have broken my foot the same way, but it was stuck under a rock. Not very easy to play football on a foot after that happens.
You're also not a soon to be hopeful pro athlete that's supposed to be getting hit and taking these licks.
First off, if you're a professional athlete, don't wear flip flops. I cannot tell you how many times I've tripped in flip flops. Tripped on myself. I am a very clumsy human being, to be fair, but it's exemplified if I have to wear flip flops or slides or something.
Yeah, they're a pain. And I don't know about you guys, but football season's here. Dylan, I don't know about you, but during games, I am constantly snacking. And so I've had to kind of clean it up a little bit, a lot of sugar-filled snacks. That's just the kind of guy I am. But Built Bar is now the snack that I eat pretty much daily. Built Bar is the best protein bar on the market. If you've got a sweet tooth like me, but you want to eat clean like me, which I just can't do because my sweet tooth, I'm a weak man. I don't know what to tell you. Built Bar is your solution. Built Bar is your low calorie, low sugar, high protein, and high fiber solution. You can even enjoy it if you're keto. Remember to use the promo code LOCKED15 to get 15% off of your next order. That is LOCKED, LOCKED 15 to get 15% off of your next order at BuiltBar.com. Now, getting into the key matchups to watch for this week, I am very excited about this because on Wednesday and on Thursday, I mentioned that, again, I think LSU is better than people have been giving them credit for. However, I also think this is one of those games where Florida just matches up really well with LSU. I think we are strong where they are weak. And I think, honestly, even we are strong where they're pretty strong because they have a, top 25 passing attack in the nation. And we have a damn good pass rush and a pretty good secondary that seems to be picking up and has Kaiir Elam returning into the mix now. So it's something where, again, I think LSU is better than they get credit for, but I think Florida is just such a good matchup this week, which is one of the reasons I'm pretty confident, way more openly confident than I usually am for a Florida game. But the biggest key matchup for
me just to bite you.
Oh yeah, I know.
If LSU wins, I'm coming back on Monday.
if LSU wins, you're never coming back. But the biggest key matchup for me is Florida's defensive line versus LSU's offensive line. Florida's defensive line is God tier. It is S tier in college football. We have just pressure throughout, just dominance. Antonio Valentino, who thought was more of a nose tackle, had 5 pressures himself last week. Jervon Dexter has been wreaking havoc. Zach Carter and Brenton Cox Jr. at the top of the list for sacks in the SEC. Florida is just cooking with a pass rush right now. And their run defense, obviously no slouches there. We've been watching them. And LSU's offensive line is only playing their second game together, all starting. And their talent level in general, I think Dylan can attest to this. LSU's offensive line is poopy. That is how I'm going to describe their talent level.
Good. Okay, so we have some players who were supposed to be really good. Ed Ingram was a first round offensive guard prospect. Like, he was supposed to be good, but the fall off this year has been bad. It all really starts. I don't like going in on players. I like to talk positively about LSU players, but it really starts with our center Liam Shanahan, who I want to like him. He seems like a good guy. Just has really underperformed, and having communication with a bad center just really can wreck the rest of your offensive line.
Yeah, that's where we've seen center issues. Look at the Kentucky game. We had so many false starts, so many just late snaps and holdings and everything, and it mainly started from the center at Equicon. That was the main source of the issue at that point. Of course, we had the Kentucky crowd was going nuts and they couldn't hear anything. And then the coaching staff took a decade and a half to make any adjustments. And it was rough. So we understand what it's like to have a rough center game there.
Run protection, awful. LSU, after running for 147 yards against Kentucky last Saturday, something I don't think you have to worry about them reproducing, is...
I don't want anyone from LSU to reproduce, so don't worry.
Is ranked 127th in the country. Fun fact. And in pass pro, not better, not that great. And Max Johnson has a tendency to hold on the ball for too long, which not a great combination.
Yeah, no, not a great combination for you, but a fantastic one for Florida and this defensive line that I'm hoping they're gonna have a field day. Like, I'm talking like 4 or 5 sacks.
You know what's weird about Max Johnson? He has happy feet, but he also refuses to throw the football.
Happy feet, scared arm. Dylan, you had another key matchup you wanted to talk about. Rick Wells versus Sage Ryan. Rick Wells is, of course, starting slot receiver for the Florida Gators. He is second on the team in catches, having a bit of a breakout year after being quiet for the beginning of his career. Tell us a little bit about Sage Ryan, the 5-star true freshman corner.
All right, so it all starts with Cordell Flott. Well, it all starts with Derek Stingley and Eli Ricks being out for the game, forcing LSU's starting nickel, Cordell Flott, to move to the outside, who previously has been pretty poor on the outside. Whenever he's played, he if you think of like back to LSU's game last year where they gave up so many yards on the outside, it was largely because Cordell Flott was being bullied. This year he moved to the nickel and has been outstanding. So we'll have to see how that happens. But then now that opens up a spot in the nickel corner where they're going to be throwing in Sage Ryan, true freshman, a 5-star talent, should be really good. He's big. He's big for he's like 5'11", 210 or something like that. It'll be interesting to see. He is someone who has not played before, going in an SEC matchup against a team who is pretty good on offense, if I do have to say. And it'll be interesting to see because I feel like they're going to go after him a lot. I do want to say, watch out for Sage Ryan in the blitzing. The dude has really good burst, and I said this on Twitter. I expect number 15 to blow up at least one drive, maybe two.
I cannot wait to see number 15 try to come running in, and then Florida has a tight end just clean him up, because we do that a lot where Kimura Gamble just works across the formation. So Sage Ryan going to think he's got a clean hit, and then he's not going to know what country he's in anymore. I can't wait for it.
It's a good match. That's why I wanted to bring it up. It's a key matchup. It's going to be something. What happens in that slot with LSU? Sage Ryan, again, 5-star talent. LSU been looking for some production out of their 5-star talents. Maybe we'll see it this week. He's highly touted, top 30 in the country, second best player in Louisiana.
And well, he's about to look like a chump against Rick Wells. I'm gonna let you know that right now, because Rick Wells.
You're talking a lot.
Yep. Rick Wells is gonna have himself a day, good sir. I'm gonna let you know that right now. And on the outside, they're gonna have themselves a day too. I think Florida. I want to see us run the ball a lot, because I know that that's where we're best at. But I also think that they're going to challenge a lot in the passing game, just given how completely demolished the LSU secondary is right now. I think that Dan Mullen last week showed that he's willing to put a little bit more trust in Emory Jones to take deep shots. I don't care if it was against Vanderbilt. I think that we're going to take a little bit more of a deep shot and try to challenge vertically more often. And all the injuries, as much as I hate injuries, they happen, and they're working in Florida's favor this week. I can't wait. I'm so happy.
But it is a bunch of players who are highly talented. Not a lot of film out on them, so you never know how they're gonna perform.
There's gonna be a lot of film on them when they're on the Gators highlight tapes. Did anybody else make money this past weekend? I know that I didn't. I have sucked the past 2 weeks gambling. I hit a parlay 3 weeks ago, and then I came very close to hitting another parlay the next day.
Here this weekend, I have a big insight on one of these games. LSU plus 12.5. Block of the week.
I highly doubt that's gonna happen. I'll tell you what, I'll take you up on that myself. I don't even need BetOnline for that one. BetOnline even covers award shows, TV shows, and reality TV with real-time updated odds and props on almost, Dylan, I watch your ears if I were you, on almost anything you can imagine. It is the best way to place your bets, and it's 100% free to sign up. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. Make sure to use promo code LOCKEDON. That is LOCKED, no space, ON. And now we're going to wrap up by looking at keys to victory. I hope that hurt your ears. I don't know if it did, but I want it to be the equivalent of the Zoom lady.
I did a joke where I covered my ears, but I forgot I'm wearing headphones, so I just pushed. I made it even louder.
Good. I am very glad. I had a listener one time tweet at me, and he was like, "You hit a note there where I'm pretty sure only my dog can even hear what you're saying with that." But looking at keys to victory and scores prediction in this segment. Florida, I think the biggest key to victory, I know Friday is usually offensive keys to victory, then defensive keys to victory and things that I'm looking for, but obviously got a little bit of a different format this week. But Florida, I think the biggest key to victory is please don't be dumb. That's it. It's, we had Kentucky, wasn't a good game to begin with, but the penalties really killed us, made it impossible for the offense to move the ball. We've had games where defensively, penalties have killed us. Look at Alabama. I don't care how bad the calls were. There were pass interference calls that gave Alabama first downs, to give them gains and all that. Really fun stuff. And Florida, interceptions, 2 against Vanderbilt. We've been plagued with interceptions this year. A couple fumbles here and there. It really comes down to just playing disciplined football, because you are supposed to win this game. I hate you, because Florida is supposed to win this game by 2 touchdowns almost. And when you lose games like that, it's usually because you played undisciplined football. So Florida, please don't be dumb. That is my key to victory for you. Dylan, I hate you. What is your key to victory for LSU?
LSU just needs to care, man. There's been a general malaise on the sideline. It hasn't been good. There's the team has seemed to have been checked out on this coaching staff. But if there's one thing that can wake them up, it's the fact that a lot of juniors, sophomores, seniors know what it's like to beat Florida and beat them in fun ways. So it's It'll be fun to see. There are a couple players, starting running back Ty Davis Price, really wants to win this game for whatever reason. Like, he does not like Florida. I mean, the two teams obviously don't like each other. It's a storied rivalry. Outside of the coaching staff, I think there are a lot of people who can get this team carrying, and it's a lot of players that'll come through the locker room. So I think as long as LSU's team cares, like, they have a shot. They have a shot. They're talented enough to put up a fight. You've mentioned it. They're better than people think they are. This team is super, super, super talented.
Yeah, and then the spread for this game now is minus 12.5. When I recorded it, and on my Wednesday episode, it was minus 10.5. Since then, it's just been climbing. So it's right now Florida minus 12.5. I'm taking that spread. You don't need to answer yet, Dylan, because you're gonna have to give a prediction. But everyone knows I'm taking that spread. The over/under is 59.5. I am taking that, as I said. Unless it's like 70, I'm taking it with the Gators. It's as simple as that. Last week I took it and it was 59.5. And Vanderbilt didn't score, and I didn't think they'd score much, but I was hoping they'd score a little bit more when Florida would run it up on them. But Dylan, what is your score prediction for this game?
All right, so LSU in Florida, no matter what it is, what did you say?
Slap bet?
Slap bet? Oh yeah. Slap bet on this line? Yeah, I'll take this.
Okay, I'll give you a slap bet on the line.
I mean, I still have two slaps.
I know, but I'll give you a slap bet on this line.
All right, I'll take a Brandon. I already have two. I'll take a slap bet here on this line. LSU and Florida, two teams. They always play tough. The last time Florida blew out LSU was October 11th, 2008 in Gainesville. The last time Florida beat up on LSU in Tiger Stadium is 2001. I just don't see it I don't think it'll happen. I think this team has a lot. This LSU team has a lot to play for. Pride. It's a bunch of young players who want to prove themselves, either for other teams because they're going to transfer out, or for LSU. They want to. Playing time is available. I don't see it happening. This is far in that stretch. This is far from the worst team that LSU has had talent wise. It all depends on what happens, and Coach O knows at least how to get some players ready to play against Florida. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I do think Florida is going to win. Florida should win. Florida better win. But my score prediction, Brandon, 38-30. I think LSU covers.
Okay, 38-30. I'm just going to say this just to offend you. But first, because I know that it's more likely that people are listening to this with children near them. So I'm going to show something that I can show, which is that, by the way, for that prediction. But my prediction, because I hate you and I want to see this happen, I am going to say...
People listening, me and Brandon have known each other for a long time.
I hate you. I want to see a blowout. Like, I want to see a massacre right here.
I have made fun enough of you about Florida, and especially LSU versus Florida, that I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, this is what you're gonna get now. It's gonna be a wrong prediction, but I want to insult you. 45-17. That's where I'm going. I don't care, but here's the thing. I need to cover the spread, and I need to hit the over, and I don't think you're scoring more than 20 points on Saturday. So Florida's got to carry the load for that.
Florida have an elite defense.
Do they have what?
An elite defense.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
You think elite? You think they have an elite defense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, without a doubt in my mind.
You sure?
Yeah.
Are you positive?
Yeah.
Because
I've never been more positive. In
today's college football, you have to give up less than I'd say like 20 points per game as elite. How much Florida give up?
Florida currently gives up 16.5.
Maybe it's like they are.
Yeah, 15th best defense in the nation right now. They
Get
have
ready
been.
to not think that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you need to not think that. I am totally fine with it. I'm sticking with 45-17. That's a good thing though. That means that your offense is going to score more than teams have really against Florida this year. So that's good for you.
Johnson, baby.
Yeah, that's all it is. There you go. You're above average. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. Join me.
I would never listen to this trash show about this
I hate
trash
you
school.
so much. Join me Monday
Go
as we
Tigers,
go
baby.
Florida versus LSU. Now make your second listen Locked On SEC. Get all of your daily SEC news in less than 30 minutes with SEC expert Chris Gordy of Sports 790. It's free and available on all platforms. For Locked On Gators, I'm
Go
Brandon
listen to
Olsen.
Locked On LSU. Matt Nascona. Go.
Dylan Sanders.
Go Tigers.
Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. Find Dylan at Dilly Sanders. And
Jorts are overrated.
I hate you so much. You can find all my written work with Whole Nine Sports. That is WHLE.
Is a bad baseball player.
I hate you so much. And be sure to check out my pin tweet that Locked On No Why Gator Nation has the best fan base in college football. I will see you all on Monday.